What's up, friends? Welcome back to another episode of the Rising Author Experience. Today, I have a very special guest. My friend Jaimie Engle is here joining me, and she is an author, a published expert who has been navigating the world of turning books into films and television. We're breaking that down and what it actually takes to go from manuscript to screen. It is a dream, but how does one pursue that dream? How does one go from A to Z? What that process looks like. So I had the privilege of meeting Jaimie about a month ago, and we've been talking about this. So I wanted to have her on to talk about these things because there's a lot of people out there, authors, creatives, people who have this vision of turning their work into movies or film or television or documentaries. But what is that process? What is that like? How do we bring this fog and formulate it into something? And so Jaimie is here to help us navigate those waters. Jaimie, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really excited about this conversation.
Yeah. So Jaimie, at what point did you decide you wanted to work and bring a movie, bring a film out of the creative writing that you do? Tell me about your background a little bit. What got you into this world?
I would say when I was a kid and I would watch like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and, Back to the Future was my jam. And
Oh,
I fell in
yes.
love
You see my
with
DeLorean back here, by the way?
Yeah.
There's a DeLorean right here.
Yeah.
Totally
I
my
mean,
jam. Yeah.
there's just something about falling into a movie. And I know there's so many mediums these days that you can experience story, but for me, it's just magical. And I just always wanted to write stories and then watch them on the screen. And that's just been it. That's been the dream since I was honestly, since I was probably 7.
Wow. That's really cool. Okay, so walk me through how you make your way into sort of this industry, whether it was the writing, the producers, all that good stuff. What was your sort of first experience in the creating something and putting it out there?
So I have my unicorn story, and then I have the story that anybody can do. So there's
Yeah.
hope.
Give me the unicorn
So,
story, and then we'll talk about all the other stuff.
so the unicorn story is I had been self-publishing for maybe almost a decade, and I was working at the real estate board in my town doing the website and social media. So we had our new agent day, and I did my spiel and went out, and this guy came out and said, "Hey, could you help me with my website? I just moved here from Hollywood. I've been working in film and television for 30 years, but I felt God was bringing me to Cocoa, Florida to build affordable housing." And I'm like,
Okay.
well, hi, I'm Jaimie, and I have been writing books for almost a decade and wanting to be a screenwriter. So fast forward that, he introduced me to his bestie in LA, who was an entertainment attorney. And that was like February of 2020, if anyone remembers that year. I know it's like a blip on the radar, that 2020, but it was a really bad year just to break into Hollywood. So I decided I should. And that Christmas, he asked me, the attorney said, "Do you have any rom-coms like Hallmark, strong female lead?" And like Hussein, I write magical realism for kids. So my natural response was, "Let me see what I have." And I crash coursed that weekend at a place called storysummit.us. No affiliation, no freebies, just great school. Check them out. And they have a course every Christmas-ish on how to write the Christmas rom or the holiday rom-com. So I took the course. I wrote my first 2 scripts. I sent them to the attorney. They loved the second one. Year and a half later, they sent me the contract. 6 months later, they went into development and production. And then in May of 2023, my movie, which I'm going to move my screen. There's my movie
I
poster.
love it.
Just Jake was aired on Up TV. And I was so excited because I'm like, this is my break. I'm going to get an agent. And would you believe me if I said my movie came out on a Monday and then on Friday the strike started?
Oof.
So I couldn't do
Wow.
anything.
Fun times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's my unicorn story.
Wow.
The strike led me to the story that anyone can do. Over the year and a half while I was waiting for the contract, feeling like a complete fraud basically, because I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm telling people, I think I have a movie being made. I don't really know. Lots of imposter syndrome. I did classes. I, shared on social, like, hey, doing an interview today, working on my thing. Lots of that. Had several producers approach me. And then when the strike hit, my LinkedIn had been moving, and I reached out to someone in animation through LinkedIn. All these connections are on LinkedIn. And I asked her if I could pick her brain about like animation. And that, long story short, was we talked for over an hour on the phone because nothing was happening in Hollywood. So go meet with producers. She said, pitch me something. I pitched her this idea. It's actually my next book. I'm halfway through edit, so yay.
Cool.
And she loved it. And she said, let's go to Warner Brothers. And that didn't work because the guy left Warner Brothers. And she said, let's go to DreamWorks. My friend is the EP there. We'll just pitch him for practice. And they actually loved it. And they said, we can't do your exact story, but if you can do something like this, we can buy that. And I'm like, I will write anything you want me to write, DreamWorks gods. Let's go. And so I did, and they bought it, and I worked with DreamWorks for a year. And that's something anybody can do. Anyone can take classes, promote themselves, network, and just put themselves out there. So those are my two.
Okay, first of all, congratulations. And this idea that when we have this dream and how and when to pursue it or take action, because there's God, Allah, the universe, whatever you want to call it. I call it Allah. I feel like when you have this intention that you project, there are people or opportunities that don't feel like this is the right opportunity to make my ask. Is probably the time you should probably make your ask, right? Because it's just like, here's the sign, there are everything is a sign. And I think when I was young, my dad and my mom really like look for the sign. They're all around you. Just gotta look for them and then take action when you feel that it's right. And I love that your unicorn story. It is that. It's that there are these signs and there's people and they get in touch with you for this random thing, but you're like, hey, let me ask you about this thing. And oh yeah, sure. Contact my friend over here. And then it leads into opportunities. I love that. I love that you put yourself out there. So, and then this other opportunity, it feels like, you know what, now that I'm in it, let me keep pursuing. Let me keep asking, connecting. I love that aspect because like you said, that's the aspect you have control. You can go there, you can email, you can message. Before I get into my other sets of questions, I want to know how, and I'm sure you feel this within yourself and maybe when other people come work with you about this stuff, it's what is the moment where people go, okay, I can't be afraid anymore. I have to ask, or that pursue, what is that overcome moment? Where do you get what I'm saying? When that tension finally, what, now it's either now or never, what helps people get there? What helps people overcome that fear?
It's like you said in the beginning, it's a dream. So I think a lot of times people they're kind of reluctant to pursue it because when it's a dream, it can happen. If you pursue it and you fail, it's over. So if you can always think of it as being something that maybe might happen one day if I try really hard and it's over there and it'll always be over there, then it's safe. But if you go after it and it doesn't work out, then what? So I think people, they get caught up on, I don't know if it's fear of failure so much. That feels really kind of heady and the wrong podcast.
No. We're just hanging out. Yeah. Share all the beans. Yeah.
Right. I think it's a little bit of that it's safer to pretend it's something. Let me put it this way. I work with a lot of people like you, editing books, helping them out, whatever. And it drives me crazy when people say, oh, I published this book. I know it's not going to sell. I don't expect it to sell. I don't, care if it sells. And I'm like, you're lying. You would not have written it if you thought that. You could have just blogged every chapter and it would have been much easier. And it's that same thing. It's like, if it's just a dream, I can control it. And if I put it out there though, to really pursue it, then I can't control it. And that, I think that scares people the most.
Yeah. Why is it so scary?
I don't know. I mean, you really are connected to your art, I mean, no matter how much we say like, oh, I need 100 rejections to get the one yes, all 99 hurt like hell. So
Mhm.
because it is you are characters, you are moments, there are memories that you put into your story. So I think there's always a little piece of us as we're like the little gods of our own universe. So I think
Yeah.
there's a little bit of that, but also just, I mean, life is hard and there's a lot of bad things that happen, and
Mm.
like having that dream sometimes keeps you going. And I really think people are, a lot of times they're just afraid of not achieving that dream, and they would rather not go toward it, and just so they can have something to hold on to.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I'm fascinated about that space. I think we all feel it, we all have it, we all seek to pursue something a little bit outside of our, comfort zones and things. And then there's whether it be doubt that you grew up with or the layers, there's so many
Yeah.
dynamics that you have to sort of fight through in a way, like with yourself, and um, it's a very interesting place for me to think about a lot because again, you come across a lot of people. The creative world is filled with this. I think the whole world is filled with this, not just
Yeah.
the creatives, right? Like we all feel that. But it is a dream and it is beautiful. I think just to write a book is a dream, let
Yeah.
alone get it into like a movie or whatever is a dream. I think this whole world is a dream to me. It's all a dream. Like
Yeah.
the fact that we exist is a dream. I don't
Right.
know, but like, so how does one, when they come and work with us, so walk me through that process. Someone taps you on the shoulder and goes, hey, I have this book, I have this interesting idea. I'm thinking about, like, I want to pursue making it into a movie or a show or whatever. Walk me through that process a little bit. Maybe give it some validity here. Like, what does that process look like?
So I laugh because I have the worst sales pitch ever, and it's just because it's as
Don't we all? Yeah.
it's as honest and transparent as I can possibly be. And I felt like your sales pitch, not that you were pitching me, but when we were talking about our businesses to each other,
Sure.
like I'm like, oh my God, this guy has the worst sales pitch too, because you're honest. So I think that's good. But like
Yeah.
I tell people, I say this is a crapshoot. I am like a lottery ticket. You're buying a lottery ticket called Jaimie Engle. You're throwing money into a bucket, but you're hoping that there's a producer at the bottom.
Mm.
And that's what it is. You're buying a dream. So what I do not write a script first, because that's tens of thousands of dollars, which is still cheaper than what it should be. Like if I was getting paid by a production company, it would be much higher, but I don't charge that to a human because that's insane.
Sure.
I start with the pitch. What I do is I take the book and then build out the pitch, whether it's a pitch book, if it's a feature film, or a pitch Bible, if we're talking about a series and we have to build out like what the engine is in the season 1 through 3 to 5. And then I share that with my producer network. And then I have a video on YouTube that shows how you can go on like Stage 32 and book appointments with real producers. And, and I hold your hand along the way. Like,
For people who don't know what Stage 32 is, though, real quick, can you explain what
sure.
that is?
It's like Facebook for film or Goodreads to books. It's the same kind of a thing. So you can go and open an account, but they have other things. Like you can take classes, you can pay for coverage, and that means like somebody reads it and gives you their thoughts. But you can also find producers in your genre and pitch them. So I have a little video on like how, yeah, of course, good question. How you do that, and then how you can go to IMDb Pro and kind of see what they've worked on. Because just because they say they've worked on a Marvel movie and they're looking to produce feature action movies, well, maybe they were the lighting guy on the Marvel movie, which is great.
Right.
I wasn't on a Marvel movie. They're already like doing more than I am, but you know what I mean? Just, you have to just verify that they're actually, capable of getting your film there. So.
Right.
So that's kind of the process, and it's much cheaper. It's like a couple $1,000s as opposed to,
Right.
a lot of money, crazy money.
Sure.
And like, I have clients come back to me. I had one a few weeks ago, and she called me and she's like, Jaimie, I pitched on Stage 32 and they loved it. And they want a script in 48 hours. And I was like, I got you. Cause it was like a preschool show. That's like
Right. Yeah.
12 pages. I can totally knock that out.
Yeah.
So I gave her a sweet deal and we knocked it out because that's going somewhere. You know, it makes sense to write a script then. Even if they don't pick it up, now she has the script, as opposed to just like hiring me, paying me like $15,000 to write your script. And then it just sits in your computer and you're pissed off at me because I stole your money.
Yeah. No, again, I think that is actually the greatest sales pitch, because you're being so honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we because again, coming at it from the outside, you don't know what you need first. Sometimes you might think you need the Hollywood producer first. Sometimes you might need the $1 million first. Sometimes it's kind of like starting a business. Sometimes you really don't know what comes first, and you kind of, and you make costly, expensive mistakes. So, I think when I came to you, I was like, yeah, what is a script? You're like, nah, I wouldn't really start with a script. Like, I would think, and it's like, even this concept I was just sharing about, with my AuthorX thing and having people come to Tucson or whatever. I was like, I sent a text message to like 50 people, and 10 of them got back and were like, yeah, that's cool. I would want to do that. And then like 4 took it serious, what I'm saying? Like, and that's the reality. Like, yeah, it gets down, but that's what you want to whittle it down. And then there's people who are like, well, what about this? Or what about that? Or are you going to do this? And so that's actually, it feels like that, right? It feels like when you create a pitch and you send it out to producers, you're kind of getting the feel of it. Like, okay, yeah, people really like this or this idea or this concept.
Right.
It's also like how people publish books, right? It's especially traditional published books. Like you want to put pieces of the book together, but like a proposal first. And then you shop the proposal, and then they go, I like that, let's write the book. Then you get the time and energy and everything. Which
and the paycheck.
So much more sense.
And the paycheck.
Because
I would much rather help you get your book to a producer, and then the studio pays me, 150 grand to write it or 75 grand to write it, than you paying me a few grand. Oh, yeah,
right. Yeah, exactly.
So it's
that makes so much more sense. Yeah. And so, okay, I have walk me through it some more. I have the pitch, I have the pitch deck, all that good stuff. I either give it to you and you kind of go and shop it around, I'm assuming here, or you take it to Stage 32 and sort of do it manually. I'm assuming you just put the pitch up and people vote on it or check it out or read it. So walk me through.
It's actually like this. It's like this. So you say, I'm going to buy 7 minutes with producer Hussein, and he's worked on a Marvel movie and he's looking for action. Cool. So I sit and go, and I, throw out my elevator pitch and a little more. So you just share your story, and then you have 7 minutes, and then you talk about the industry, and then hopefully really cool. Like, yeah, I really liked. Why don't you send me your pitch, or send me your treatment, or send me your thing? And then you're like, it's based off of a book, and they're like, oh, well, send me the book. That's a big one. Yeah, they like that. Like, you don't even have to have a lot of reviews or anything. I mean, obviously that's good, but like
the fact that you have a book and like that it's already written and all that stuff.
Yeah, I have. One of my producer teams, they reached out to me last week and they said, hey, the VP of whatever studio, I don't even know, we were talking, and they love your idea for your book, Metal Mouth. So we're going to pitch. They want to read the book. And I'm like, woo, cool. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's a lot of reviews, but it's a book. So.
Yeah. And I think like it's about taste too. I think, right? Like, not everyone in the world is going to read every single book. So it's like everyone knows like how hard it is to get books in people's hands. But getting the right book in the right hands is really what matters. And I feel like that's true for books. And it seems like it's true for how this book evolves into a film or whatever. So that's really cool. Okay, so what's the other path? So if I kind of entrust you with this work, somebody comes in and goes, hey, great, you made a pitch. How do you then connect them to your producers or opportunities? You should go around shopping it around and then kind of go from there. And then what is the typical timeline of how these things unfold?
There's no timeline. So typically, like, what I have is an offerings. So the offerings has my stuff and it has your stuff. I do not differentiate. I just separate by this has a script or this is just a pitch. And I write the genre, the log line, and then the book cover. And it's called Chapter Frame. That's my company. And I pitch this offering as IP based book. So I have like 68 or so in this offerings right now. And I had a meeting with the studio maybe 3 weeks ago now. They reached out to me on LinkedIn and they're like, we really want to connect with you. And we did a meeting and I told him about Chapter Frame and he was freaking out. So he's like, send me your whole thing. I want to see all of it. And so, because like he said, he wants IP, but he's like, I don't have time to go find it. So he's like, this is awesome. So I have the offering goes first. Yesterday, one of my producers was looking for YA stories for, I don't remember her name, but the producer of Ginny and something. I can't remember. Georgia and Ginny, I think, is a show. And so she was looking for YA. So she already had my metal mouth. And I said, hey, can I send you some client log lines? And she's like, oh my gosh, yeah. So I sent her like 6 log lines of my YA clients. And then like the funnest part is sending out the email to all of them and being like, hey, just want you to know that your log line just went out to my producer and she's, partnering with Jenny and Georgia's whatever. And just so exciting, and then they email me back and they're all amped. And so then the log line goes out. And then the next step is if they like it, they'll ask for the pitch or they'll ask for the script. And I always tell my clients, if they ask for a script, it's going to cost you money, just so you know. But if someone's asking for the script, it's worth it. And like, this is not in a writing kind of thing. Like I don't write this stuff down, but if I write the script and you pay me money and then we sell the project, you're getting your money back. Like I'm not double dipping, like that's I wouldn't want people to treat it that way.
I understand.
So, but I have to get paid something for my work.
Of course. Yeah. So, it's work and, and the connections.
And the connections.
Exactly. Very cool.
So that's the process. Timeline. So one of my very first projects from LinkedIn, I got approached by a producer, checked him out on IMDb at his suggestion. His name is Mitchell Galen. He's done like 9 movies for Stephen King. He did Creepshow. He did Dune. We've been working together for 4 years in development on my comic book adaptation to feature film. He said it took him 10 years to do The Stand from beginning to end back in the 90s. And actually, I don't think I even told you about this, Hussein. I started last month with him doing Chapter Frame fireside chats with producers. So they're like 1 hour like this and then Q&A. So that's on my YouTube. I'll get that link to you later if you'll enjoy it. Yeah. And I have the next one is it'll be once a month, but the next one, I don't know when this is. So there's to be the next one in April. And I've got like 5 producers lined up because I'm like,
no one gets to talk to them that often. Yeah.
Right. And I feel like a jerk because even though I'm very clear that you're throwing money down the drain and you are wasting money by hiring me, I still feel like a jerk knowing that like the likelihood of any of our stuff getting out there is so slim. So I was just like, what value can I bring to not just my current Chapter Frame clients, but also like new people that maybe are on the fence. And so I just started doing this and it was amazing.
I mean, look, there's where we put our money as far as like our dreams and our things, you know what I mean? Like our, because you're like investing in something potentially unlocking, or you're learning something, or look, it's one thing to dream about something, but it's another thing to try. At least, it's like, I'd rather to die trying something than sitting on the thing, right? Agreed. So, and that's not always possible for everyone, right? It's a dream is that. It's like you're kind of betting on a lottery ticket, like you said. So you've defined it clearly here as to what it is, and you're being honest. So I don't think there's this feeling of like, oh, I'm going to get because, I was promised the freaking, an Oscar at the end of this. And like, that didn't happen, Right. So do producers care more about, and again, this obviously is a layered question. Mm-hmm. So, but my thing is like, do they care more about like the story itself or the audience and platform behind that person or author, or do kind of both matter? Like to you, your experience so far, what has stood out to you? What are producers really looking for? I mean, again, they're all different, so they're all looking for different things. But
Totally. But
what's the thread?
overall, yeah, I think the thread is they really don't care about the person in the book, like, respectfully. I think they care about, like, they connect to me, like, they like me. Like, Mitchell reached out to me because of my self-promotion. Like, I didn't do anything. I had nothing made in Hollywood. But he's
Sure.
like, you have really good self-promotion. Like, you're constantly doing continuing education and doing this and doing that. So, but as far as stories go, it's like the most success I've seen, besides just Jake, because that was actually made. But like DreamWorks, I am an absolute nobody, like zero nobody. And no, let me take that back. Zero unknown. I'm not a nobody. I'm an unknown.
Right. In that
So,
space. Yeah.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But they hired me. Like, they hired me, you know,
Right.
because they liked the story. They liked the concept. They liked me, you know, they liked my producer. It's definitely a business of who you know, because I can tell you,
Mm.
you can be like family friends with an agent in a big five, you know, level.
Right.
They're not going to read your book. Like, they might,
Yeah.
but they're not going to just bring you into their team and be like,
Circle.
hey, we should consider this manuscript because I really like this person. But in Hollywood, you can literally, like, reach out to somebody and just be like, I have this really cool idea, and they like you, and then now you're working together, you know,
Right.
whether
Right.
it goes anywhere or not, only
Likability
Lord
plays a
knows.
role. Yeah.
Yes. And it's
Likability.
who you know, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
So
But
so what are the, I guess, actions that either authors or people who are trying to pursue this dream, what are some tangible things that we can do to, one, amplify where we can find those connections, how we can connect with people, but make it genuine?
mhm.
Is it the DMs? Is it just connecting with people on LinkedIn? Is it stage
Yeah,
32 and just pitching? How do you kind of crawl into this space, if you will?
I love that analogy because that's what it feels like. Like, oh God.
It's a crawl, man. Yeah.
So all of the above. LinkedIn, when I took my very first that romance writing Christmas class, the
Right.
Hallmark executive said, you will find producers on LinkedIn. And I was like, bullshit. I'm like, no way. But she was the Hallmark executive and I wasn't. So I went on LinkedIn, and I literally, every single person that I have worked with, including, like, I have a movie with the director of Sharknado attached and one of the producers attached. It's a Thanksgiving zombie turkey movie, like, totally stupid. LinkedIn, like, everything. DreamWorks, LinkedIn. The
Right.
Stephen King guy, LinkedIn. So, but it's genuine connections. I'm always on there networking and sharing. And I have a course on this. I'm not trying to pitch my course, but I'm trying to pitch my course.
Sure.
Just because it's really
Pitch
good. I have
it.
your whole LinkedIn, you know, like how
Yeah.
to pitch, how to do
Yeah.
all of it. And, like, the biggest thing is the DM, as far as, like, doing it properly. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing worse than opening your DM because you said yes to someone connecting to you, and you open it and it's like, hi, my name's so-and-so. Are you looking for this? Blah, 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 blah. Like, just
Worst.
imagine if you were sitting at a bar, Hussein, and we sat next to each other, and you turned over and you were like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, it's going great. So I heard that you do marketing, and I have this book, and blah, 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 blah. And you're like,
It's
what
terrible.
the hell is happening right now? You know, it's just so inappropriate.
It's the pitch slap. Yeah. I can't do it.
So inappropriate. So,
Yeah.
but I even met my manager that way because after I did the DreamWorks deal, I wanted to see, like you said earlier, how do I leverage this? So one of my connections was the guy who wrote Big Hero 6 and Ben 10, and I love Ben 10 with all my heart. And I just hit him up and I was like, hey, look, can I pick your brain? Like, I just had this really big deal with DreamWorks, and I'm just not sure how to leverage it. And he Zoomed with me for like 40 minutes, and he said, you know, maybe my manager's looking for somebody new. Maybe he'll take on a new client. I'll ask him. And I forgot about it. And then a month later, he reached out to me and said, my manager's happy to meet you. And this was like the coolest, like, I don't know if it's what you call it when you're fangirling because someone else knows you. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah.
It was very strange. But I talked to this manager and he was like, oh, I know you, Jaimie. I know your book, Metal Mouth. Your
Oh, wow.
producer used to be an intern of mine, and he pitched it to me a year ago, kind of asking me how I should position it. And
That's so wild.
I've been
Yeah.
following you on LinkedIn ever since, just kind of watching your career grow. So I'd love to sign you on.
Oh my God. So
What?
cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was so cool. It was really fun.
Yeah. I
But totally
Yeah, I
LinkedIn.
love that story so much. And it's like, so it's obviously how we met, but it's like,
Mhm.
I have been a big advocate of LinkedIn and how authors need to get on there and use it and build their brand and just show up and share and connect, like use that search bar like it's your new best friend. Like it's right there. It's like the
Yeah.
biggest feature. It wants you to use that
That's
search
the
bar.
biggest
So
feature. That's
literally,
amazing.
I mean, look, it's LinkedIn. It's a connection
Right.
website, like,
Right.
and it's a professional network website. But don't just connect and sit there and hover. It's remarkable how, and I'm sure you feel this all the time, how many people don't comment, don't say anything.
Mhm.
So you're sitting on a handful of likes and comments on your post, thinking that like literally no one gives a shit. But
Right.
in reality, there's 150 people who saw that post who
Right.
just don't, they're just quietly lurking because that's
Right.
what some people do.
For a year, and then they sign you
Yeah,
as.
and then randomly message you a year later, or you connect with them and or like say what's up. And they're like, "Oh, I've been following you. I love all your posts." And then all of a sudden,
Right.
you're like, "What the?"
Right. Exactly.
Um, it's
And you
not
do.
only
You
the
have
best
to.
feeling; it's so validating.
It is. Oh, hi, puppy. I hear your dog.
Yes.
You do, and you also have to you know, you have to think about what you're posting in the sense that what value is this bringing? Am I
Mhm.
just posting to post? I don't do this. Like when I launch a book, I'm like, hey guys, I launched a book. And that's probably the last time I'll mention it. That's just me. And I know that's why I need to, I'm totally aware of that. But, but my philosophy is attraction rather than promotion. And it's attractive when you're watching somebody doing what you want to do in real time. So when
100%.
I can turn on your channel and see that oh my gosh, you guys, check out my new client. They just hit the New York Times bestseller list. That is to me attracting me to you. You're not promoting. You're not going, hey, check out this new book by my client. It's the same information, but it's just a different approach.
Yeah.
And I think LinkedIn, you thrive on LinkedIn when you are being attractive to other people by
Right.
just doing your job. And,
Sure.
you said it earlier, like everybody wants to write a book. The fact that we've done that puts us in this super human level of society where people like to follow your journey. They like to be part of it. I don't understand it. I'm not going to lie. It's very weird to me. And I'm really good at it because I like connecting with people. It's very fun to me, but I still I have to remember that that I'm doing every day that feels like mundane is just fascinating to people who will never do it, who go to the same job
Oh yeah.
every day,
100%.
don't like their life, and
Because
it's a privilege.
Yes. So I love this so much because you said something that I recently got to talking to someone about, because there's a lot of people like, look, you love this, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's a dream. You're pursuing. So it is a job. And like love, I don't care what it's, whether it's loving your mama, loving your wife, loving your child, it's hard. It just because you love it, it doesn't mean that it's easy. It actually means the opposite. It means that you're working to maintain that thing. And I think, yeah, like whether you're in publishing or when you tell someone you're an author, like, oh my God, like it's like it's something they thought about or dreamt about or whatever, like you said, or I'm in the movie business, so like, oh my God. Like how many people do you actually, I guess, unless you're in like California, like you don't meet that many people in that industry. And if you do, it's rare. It's really rare. And so I think and it's interesting, right? It's just like you're surrounded by this world that is one, already a dream, two, you're thinking through dreams. It's very meta, very Inception.
Right.
But I think what's interesting about that is that like people who want to pursue this thing, not only do they know in the back of their mind, like, I may not hit New York Times bestseller, I may not, whatever, but it's like, you should still pursue it. Like, pursue it. Like, what's the worst thing? And stay consistent to it.
Yes.
There's something there. And I think with my work, your work, in publishing industry, film industry, whatever, I think there's so much potential that's left on the table because people, like, sometimes, like, again, you just post about your book and then nothing else happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, well, there's so much potential here, but we need to think a little bit outside of what you're currently thinking about. And that's what I think you also bring to the table, is that, like, you need accountability. This is why I wanted to bring you on the show. It's because someone like you, and this is why I bring a lot of different people like you on the show, is because I always tell people, like, go work with this person. Like, go find Jaimie. Here's her website, right? And like, go hang out with her, have a call, discuss it, go to stage 32. She's got resources. Go watch her course. Because look, I asked my friend if I should, and I asked my wife, I've asked so many different people, should I pursue my book to becoming a movie? And it's not because it comes from an egotistical place. It's literally because people have told me this needs to be a movie, right? And like this needs to be a thing. And I've, sometimes you take it serious and then you don't. And you're like, all right, maybe, there's all these feelings about it, right? There's all this ego, there's all these things.
Right. Oh,
But there's a deeper sense of this to where, like, okay, yeah, I should pursue this. So then you meet someone like you and you go, okay, well, here's what I would do. Here's the first step, right? At least let's create a pitch. And you can start with that. And that's like an entry point. And it's like a couple $1,000. And it's like, well, what's your dream worth?
Right.
That's
Exactly.
really what it all comes down to. It's like, what is that dream worth? Sorry, my dog is going.
Dude, my dog is freaking out from your dog. It's hilarious. I'm trying not to laugh. She's got her ball in her mouth. She's a Boston, and she's like,
oh man. It's somebody dropping off some groceries and she's losing it. She's very protective. Apologies.
No worries. I love dogs. I think I told you I started an entire dog brand for my dog. Her name is Moofart. So I capitalized the ART. So she has stickers and she has tattoos and sweatshirts. And I am like ridiculous. Perfect. My dog. Yeah. So your dog can come up here. We'll talk.
Oh man, she's a big girl. She's a Mastiff Lab mix. So she's a big girl. So cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, but like what we were saying is that this idea of like pursuing your dream, it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. It could be a connection. It could be a message. It could be, like I think back to that idea of fear, like the things that we fear, right? Is that it's really big in your head, right? Like, how do you wrap, like, again, like you have to know Steven Spielberg to make my movie. And it's like, well, no, maybe you just need a text. Maybe you just need to message Jaimie. Like at first, right? Maybe you will get there. Like, who knows? But like, what is the first step? And then maybe the second step. And then that's what I think that is the timeline. The timeline is like that fluidity. It's like a river. It expands, it contracts, and it takes, but you're flowing down river. Like, get on the river, get the boat on the river, see what happens. And I really appreciate when we had our first conversation, just how real you were and just how honest you were, because, I don't like to be in the business of taking people's money for no reason. I like to sleep at night. I don't want to feel guilty. And I think you feel the same way. And so if you're out there trying to pursue this dream of figuring out how to transform your manuscript or book or idea into a film, a show, something like that, reach out to Jaimie. She is an incredible wealth of knowledge. I could talk to you for hours. But what would be like the final thing that you would say to someone who's interested in pursuing this dream? What would you say to them right now if they're watching the show?
Like, I would say, like, you have to just go for it, whatever that looks like to you. If you want to take a class and learn how to do it yourself, if you want to find a local film school and say, hey, I have this novel, this chapter would be a really great short piece. Are you guys looking for something for your class? Or going as far as hiring somebody. If you're like, I do not want to learn a whole new, like, like medium of how to write something. But just to, if it's something that you like, you don't want to die without trying, you have to give it a try, because as of yet, Steven Spielberg has not knocked on my door to be like, hey, Jaimie, I'm ready for you. So I don't think he is. So I have to go find, my dream. I have to go make my dream happen. No one is going to make my dream happen. And I think you had said this in the beginning when you were like, God, Allah, the universe, like when it calls to you and it opens up doors, like Lana Makara saying, hey, y'all need to meet, right? And so here we are. If I had said no to that producer, because like, let's be honest, I had never written a script before. I did not have any rom-coms, and I did not have any strong female leads. And my answer was, let me see what I have. Let me see what I can figure out. Yeah. I mean, there's YouTube, guys. There's no excuse at this point in life.
Everything's figure outable. Everything.
Like someone's like, hey, my heart's palpitating. Do you think you could look? Then you say no. But beyond that, like, go figure it out. Yeah. If I had said no, where would I be? I would not have that beautiful movie poster behind me, and that would not have led me to the DreamWorks deal. What if I hadn't called that producer? Because I listened to a podcast, and the podcast said, hey, there's a strike going on. And Jaimie's feeling sorry for herself because her first movie came out that she's wanted since she was 7, and she can't talk to anybody. But this podcast guy said, hey, call producers. They're bored. They can't do anything right now, but you can network. Don't pitch your stuff, but you can network. And she's animation, so I actually could, but I didn't know that then.
Sure.
If I hadn't reached out to her and just said, hey, I see that you're a Warner Brothers producer. Can I pick your brain about animation? I'm curious how it works as a screenwriter.
Yeah.
So I would just say, just don't think about the end. What is the next step? Like you keep saying, what is the next right thing for your journey? It may not be to do a movie. It might just be something that you think would be fun. Your next best step might be like to work with Hussein and get like your book with a more visible audience, to build your platform. So that way, when you are ready for your movie, people follow you on LinkedIn because you have a great brand. Because that's kind of how I did it. The brand is what brings people to me. People like me a lot, which is great. I like people, but that's my
person. Yeah.
Thank you. You too. And that would be my advice, is just, it's always going to be scary. If it wasn't scary, then like everyone would be doing it. So if it's always going to be scary and it's never going to not be scary, then just take the next step and don't worry about the end step. Just take the next step, because it might be the one step that you need to get to the next thing, like meeting you. Who knows what that's going to bring for me? Meeting me, who knows what that's going to bring for you? We just took the next step by having someone say, hey, you guys should meet. And we did. And here we are. So I think everything in life is just a ... like one of those connect the dots from when you were a kid. And if you don't have that next dot connected, you're going to miss the fun that's meant for you after that.
Right. Well said, my friend. Jaimie, besides your website, I'm assuming you want people to connect with you on LinkedIn. So it's just like that, Jaimie Engle. Look her up, friends. Connect with her. Reach out. I think you are a wealth of knowledge. I'm grateful that you're out there doing the things that you do. And I love following your journey, of course. And I've learned so much. And I know I'll be in touch about my pitch. So we're going to be talking about that. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you so much. Welcome. Thank you for coming on the show. And I hope this episode brings you that next connection. Like if you're out there watching this, connect with Jaimie. And Jaimie, I hope someone out there does connect with you, because again, seriously, like this space specifically of like dreaming up a video, a movie, a film, a documentary, a docuseries, like it comes up often for me. It does. I'm sure it does for you. So it's just nice to like go hang out with Jaimie and like learn from her, and something may open up. So thanks again for coming on the show, my friend.
Thank you. You too.